The market in 2026 is setting up to be one of the most unusual opportunities we've seen in years, especially in the small cap space. Today, I'm breaking down 3 speculative stocks trading under $1 that analysts believe could have huge upside from here. Listen through to the end, because the last one has the wildest price target of them all. We're not here to follow hype or chase random penny stock tips. We're here to understand what these businesses do, why Wall Street still pays attention to them, and what risks you're really taking if you buy. If you're serious about building wealth over time, hit subscribe and tap like. We're building a community of thoughtful investors who look past the noise, read the numbers, and think like business owners, not gamblers. This is not financial advice. It's for education only. Always do your own research before investing. Let's jump into stock number 1, Femasys, ticker FEMY. On the surface, Femasys looks like just another tiny medical stock. The share price is around 42 cents. The market cap is only about $25 million. Many investors would scroll right past it. But the story here is about a focused women's health company building a full toolkit of products in areas that often get ignored by big pharma. Femasys develops therapeutic and diagnostic solutions for women's reproductive health. They already sell several devices. FemView is a saline air device used as a contrast-generating product to help evaluate the fallopian tubes. It's available in the US, Canada, Japan, and Hong Kong. Then you have FemCath, a cornual balloon catheter. It's a single intrauterine directional delivery product. In simple terms, it helps doctors evaluate each fallopian tube individually. That matters a lot for infertility workups. They also offer FemServe, a biopsy device for endocervical curettage. It collects cervical cells and tissue circumferentially and keeps the sample contained inside the device. That can reduce contamination and improve sample quality. Beyond what is already commercial, Femasys also has a pipeline. They are working on permanent birth control solutions like FemBlock and FemCheck. They have Femiseed, an artificial insemination solution. And they are developing FEMY, a product candidate for endometrial sampling that could support uterine cancer detection testing. Together, this looks like a full ecosystem for reproductive endocrinologists, OBGYNs, and women's health providers. Let's think like business owners here. The market cap is around $25 million. Analysts still rate the stock a moderate buy and have a consensus price target of $5.50. That implies over 1,200% upside from current levels. That does not mean it will get there, but it shows you how wide the disconnect is between current trading and analyst expectations. We don't have full revenue and earnings details in front of us, but we know a few things. First, this is a commercial stage company, not just an idea on paper. FemView, FemCath, and FemServe are already in the market. That means some revenue is already coming in, even if it's small. Second, the research and development spend for new devices and studies is heavy. That usually means negative earnings and cash burn. So the real question is, do they have enough runway to reach scale? From a valuation mindset, price is what you pay, value is what you get. At 42 cents per share, you're paying venture-level prices for a set of approved devices plus a pipeline of high-value women's health products. If even one or two of the major pipeline products gain traction, the current market cap could look cheap. If they struggle to get adoption or face regulatory setbacks, shareholders could get diluted or wiped out. The main catalyst to watch here is product adoption and regulatory progress. Any news on FemBlock, FemCheck, Femiseed, or FEMY moving closer to approval or strong commercial uptake could change how the market sees this business. Another catalyst could be partnerships with larger medical device companies or women's health networks. But remember, this is a small cap, high-risk play. Position size should be tiny, and only with money you can afford to lose. Now let's move to stock number 2, Canon, ticker CAN. You might think Canon is just another boring hardware company in a controversial space. But under the hood, this is a pure play on the infrastructure of Bitcoin mining. Canon is a leader in the research, design, and sale of integrated circuit final mining equipment. They build specialized chips and machines used for Bitcoin mining, and they also handle assembly and distribution of mining equipment and spare parts. The company has a global footprint. They operate across the United States, Australia, Kazakhstan, Hong Kong, Canada, mainland China, Thailand, Sweden, and more. Canon was founded in 2013 and is now based in Singapore. So we're not talking about a brand new startup. This is a company that's lived through several crypto cycles. The stock trades around 55 cents per share with a market cap of about $206 million. Analysts rate it a moderate buy with a consensus price target of $2.17. That's almost 300% upside from current levels. Again, no guarantees, but the gap is large. Let's break this down with a business mindset. Canaan's revenue is highly tied to the price of Bitcoin and the overall demand for mining equipment. In bull markets, miners rush to add capacity and hardware orders spike. In bear markets or after halvings, demand can crash and margins get squeezed. That means revenue can be very lumpy. We don't have exact growth rates here, but we know the cycle pattern, boom and bust. From an operational standpoint, Canaan's edge is in chip design and efficiency. Miners care deeply about hash rate per watt and cost per terahash. If Canaan can keep pushing better efficiency, they can win orders even in weak markets. CapEx can be high because this is hardware and manufacturing, not pure software. Gross margins can expand when volume is high and contract when volume drops. On valuation, hardware crypto stocks often trade at low multiples during down cycles because investors assume weak demand will last. That can create a valuation disconnect if you believe the next Bitcoin bull run will drive a fresh wave of hardware upgrades. At a market cap a little over 200 million, the question is how much future cycle upside is already priced in. The main catalyst for Canaan is simple: Bitcoin cycles. A strong move higher in Bitcoin price, increased hash rate, and new mining capacity could drive strong demand for new machines. Regulatory clarity in different regions and improved energy deals for miners also matter. Canaan's global reach could help them shift to friendlier jurisdictions when policies change. But this is not a safe, steady compounder. This is a cyclical, volatile stock tied to a volatile asset. If Bitcoin stalls or crashes, or if new competitors beat Canaan on efficiency, the stock could drop hard. Position this as a speculative satellite in a diversified portfolio, not a core holding. Only use money you can afford to see swing wildly. Now, let's get to stock number 3, Reviva Pharmaceuticals, ticker RVPH. Reviva is a biopharmaceutical company focused on next-generation therapeutics for diseases with big unmet medical needs. Their main areas are central nervous system disorders, respiratory diseases, inflammatory conditions, and cardiometabolic issues. Their lead product candidate is called brilaroxazine, also known as RP563. Brilaroxazine targets multiple neuropsychiatric conditions. The company is pursuing it for schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, major depressive disorder, ADHD, behavioral and psychotic symptoms of dementia and Alzheimer's disease, and psychosis in Parkinson's disease. That is a massive list of potential indications. Beyond the brain, brilaroxazine is also in clinical development for respiratory conditions like pulmonary arterial hypertension and idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis. On top of that, it's in preclinical development for psoriasis. They also have another candidate, RP1208, being developed for depression and obesity. The company was founded in 2018 and is based in Cupertino, California. This is a relatively young biotech, but with a broad ambition. Here's where it gets wild. The stock trades around 86 cents per share. The market cap is only about $11 million. But analysts have a consensus rating of moderate buy and a consensus price target of $66.67. That implies more than 7,600% upside from here. That kind of target usually only appears in very early stage, very risky situations where the valuation has collapsed, but the science still has a shot. As business owners, we have to ask, why such a huge gap? Number 1, drug development is expensive. Trials cost a lot. Failures are common. Delays and clinical setbacks can crush the stock. On the other hand, if brilaroxazine succeeds in even one major indication like schizophrenia or major depressive disorder, the potential market could be worth hundreds of millions or more per year. That's why analysts can justify high targets. The payoff is asymmetrical if the data works. We don't have detailed revenue or earnings yet because this is still largely a development stage company. That means negative earnings and cash burn. The balance sheet and cash runway are crucial. Dilution is likely as they raise capital. That's part of the risk. On valuation, this is classic biotech optionality. The current $11 million market cap reflects huge doubt from the market. The $66 target reflects what the business could be worth if the lead drug proves safe and effective in one or more big markets. The truth could land anywhere in between. So this is not investing if you don't understand the risks. This is speculation. You must size this very small. The main catalysts are clinical trial results and regulatory milestones. Positive phase data, fast-track designations, or partnerships with larger pharma companies can move the stock in a big way. Negative data or safety issues can send it close to zero. That's the nature of small biotech. So which of these three is best? It depends on your risk profile. Femasys gives you exposure to women's health devices and fertility diagnostics with real products already in market and a pipeline in a specialized niche. Canaan ties you to the Bitcoin mining infrastructure cycle, where upside depends on the next crypto bull run. Reviva offers pure biotech optionality, with a tiny market cap and a giant analyst target based on one lead drug with many possible uses. The common thread is this: these are all speculative small caps. They won't fit every portfolio. If you choose to own any of them, keep your position size is very small, diversify across other safer assets, and prepare for heavy volatility. The key is having a disciplined approach and the patience to let your best ideas play out over years, not days. The market is a voting machine in the short term, but a weighing machine in the long term. Focus on what the business does, what problems it solves, and how it can make money, not just the ticker price on your screen. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit subscribe, tap like, and share this with someone who is curious about speculative stocks but wants a clear, calm view. Invest wisely, stay focused on what matters, and I'll see you in the next one.